Squeaky Bum Time, Gabby Agbonlahor, Danny Mills. This is a podcast. We just want to chat with you guys. I just want to find out stories.
No squeaky bums here.
No squeaky bums ever? Ever?
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Can't tell you.
We'll keep that a secret between ourselves for now. But it's just a conversation. I just want to know a bit more about what happens in the game, what happened during your careers, etc. What's happening behind the scenes for people that don't know. For example, here's something I was thinking about captains. What do captains actually do off the pitch?
I mean, it was probably different in my era. I mean, there's 10... I retired, 12 years ago. So, Gabby's only retired 18 months ago. So there's a big difference. I think it was a big shift. I was very much of the old school captains. They were the leaders of the dressing room. They set the tone. They did the discipline. There was 4 or 5 senior players. They were the manager's right-hand man, effectively. They did a lot of that sort of stuff. Fines, everything like that.
See, but how does that work in terms of discipline and fines? Who keeps track?
Senior player runs itself. They'll have a chart.
Chart?
Someone turns up late. Start of the season, captain will go, right, okay, this is what we're going to do. Senior players get together. This is the fine system. And he keeps a chart. And players have respect for that. But these are the people you're looking to on the pitch. And I'm talking, the likes of Gareth Southgate, obviously, was my captain at Middlesbrough. Lucas Radaby at Leeds. Senior players that have been there, seen it, done it. But when they speak, you listen. I don't think those sort of captains exist anymore. And that was started by the David Beckham era, when it started to be the best players became captains. And then after that, it was the best players, and then the most famous people became captains. And I think that that's where the captaincy has changed. And the captains Gabby had were probably completely different to some of the captains that I had.
Well, he was captain himself.
Yeah.
So I said good players.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but I think there's a lot of responsibility as captain. I think the players look up to you. If anything's going wrong, you're the captain, you got to speak up. And I think it was basically I was mostly captain under Paul Lambert.
Okay.
And it was basically like Danny says, you're the right hand man. You're going to him if the players want a day off, if the players want this, the players want that. The players will come to you and say, "Go on, you've got to go."
Oh,
it's basically
bit closer to the mic. Sorry.
So basically, you've got to go to the manager on behalf of your team and say, "Oh, Gaffer, can we have this day off? Can we do this?"
He's a spokesperson.
So we're basically, if anything's happening, you've got to go.
When did you get the captaincy? You must have been quite senior.
Yeah, I think I was 24. I had it under McLeish. Then I had it more under Lambert.
But you played a lot.
You've
been playing for 6, 7, 8 years.
Games, yeah.
So the other night, Manchester United play. Marcus Rashford is the captain. Now, Gabby, he's clearly got a voice. He's got experience. He's telling people what to do. Is Marcus Rashford doing that? What authority does he have in that team? I'll be looking at him going, none. But he's the best player almost. I know he's got experience in terms of the amount of games played and England caps, but he's not a leader.
But can you lead by example rather than voice?
Of course you can, and Beckham did that really. Apart from he was the most famous for England, obviously, and commercially, it worked out. That's for sure.
You see, we had a captain under Paul Lambert before he got injured, Ron Vlaar.
Oh yeah.
But he wasn't vocal at all. He wasn't vocal on the pitch. He wasn't vocal off the pitch. So like Danny says, I think sometimes you can give the captaincy to someone maybe because, especially under the start of Lambert, because he's a centre half. Because he's a big centre half. Okay, give it him. But really, he's not a leader. He's not vocal. He's not strong personality. So I think that's why maybe Paul Lambert changed it to someone who was more vocal. The players will probably respect a bit more. So I think sometimes it's about. I don't think it's about age really, because sometimes you can get a 21-year-old who's vocal, who's he's a leader, and then someone that's 31 who isn't. So it's I think some people think that maybe captaincy should be someone who's older.
I think they're natural-born leaders in any walk of life.
Well, don't you think you get when you're given the armband, maybe you're not a born leader, you become one.
You can grow into it.
You can grow into it.
But I think there are certain people that are more suited,
definitely,
to doing it than others. I think the role as captain has changed. I don't think now they have anywhere near as much power, as they used to. They're more of a figurehead now rather than anything else. I think when I first started, the captain was doing all sorts.
Such as? I mean, are there extra duties you have to do as a captain?
Yeah, loads. Off the field, there's loads. You have to sort tickets out. You have to
sort tickets out.
Yeah. So they say there's tickets for a game. You get them off the club secretary, and you've got to go around and give them. So that means you might get a player saying, I want 5, I want 6. So what me and Stilly and Petrov done as captains, we'd go and buy extra. ourselves.
You buy it?
Yeah, just because, you got young players in the side, you might need 5, but there might be only 2 each. So we go and buy extra tickets, to help the players out. But that's just something that I learned off Stillion, that he'd done. So
and that's the thing. So he's learned off somebody senior that's been around, seen it, done it. But I just don't. We always talk about it in the England team now. Where are those leaders? When you look at very often in the past, I don't think the captain was really ever the best player. It was a little bit of an issue when Shearer was given the captaincy.
Would you say Jordan Henderson has got the most about him?
Yeah,
as a captain, I look at him on the pitch for Liverpool especially, and he's got that. He's always shouting, he's always ordering people.
And after that, you were looking at Van Dijk.
Yeah.
And that's why I think next England captain, if Harry Kane's not fit, it's Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
But then where are you looking after that? When I played in that team, you had Gary Neville was around, could have easily been a captain.
But he was also best mates of Beckham, so I presume that he was pulling a lot of the duties.
But I'm talking about just the leadership
had a lot there,
that they had.
Yeah.
Then he had centre halves. You had Sol Campbell, who was captain at Arsenal. At times, Martin Keown, Gareth Southgate, Rio Ferdinand, all captains in their own right.
Yeah.
Ashley Cole wasn't captain, obviously. Ash was quite quiet. But then you had the likes of Nicky Butt in there. You had Beckham, Michael Owen, a bit quieter. But then you had like Teddy Sheringham. All these experienced players at that time, any of those could have been captains. And I think that's where they had a voice, and if something wasn't working, they had the belief in themselves to stand up and go, no, this is not working, we need to change it. Before the manager even said something on the pitch.
But
I think now players are going, what do I do? What do I do?
Don't
Always
you think
looking
as well,
to the bench.
though, Danny, there's got to be like a respect for a captain. And there's like a responsibility for a captain to say, like, if you went out and played a game and you lost, say you lost 2, 3, 4, 5-0, I think the captain's got to be the person that goes to the change room afterwards and is like, you wasn't doing that right, you wasn't doing that right, you was not doing that right. Like someone who's going to have a go at the players, and the manager will respect the captain for that. You're sort of helping the manager like dig players out, but maybe I don't think that happens now.
Yeah,
no,
I don't think that happens in
going
football
back
now.
to Man United v Man City in the cup game. They were getting torn apart. Not one single United player said, right, we're going to change it for 5-10 minutes. There should have been 5 or 6 players on the pitch going, no, this is not working. You look at Man City, and last season, or even this season, you've got Company was in there, fabulous captain. You then got Fernandinho, that leads by David Silva can do that. There are lots of players within that will have a voice and tell other people. Gundogan will do the same sort of thing. Kyle Walker even will tell people what to do. And I think it's being brave enough to stand up and sort of put your head above the parapet and go, well, actually, no, I'm gonna do something different. Maybe the manager's not told us to do it, but you're experienced enough to see things are going wrong. So you've got to have the ability to make those changes.
And don't you think as well, like experiences of me being captain, sometimes you have to tell the manager what he doesn't want to hear.
Yeah.
I think that's what managers like about captains. They've got a bit of something about them. So sometimes it might be like, you know what, Gaffer, this isn't working. Like we played this last week, this formation, we were struggling on that side, or it's not working. The midfield's not got enough help. We think we should play this. And maybe it might not go down well with the captain, but I think that's what you need. You can't be the captain who just agrees with the manager.
Yeah.
I think you'll have a voice, don't you?
And that's why the manager has to choose him carefully. So there's the respect between the two.
Yeah.
So if there is a difference of opinion, you can go as captain to the manager or the coach, the assistant, and go, right, okay, the lads are thinking this. They're not particularly comfortable. And you take it upon your shoulders because the messenger always gets shot.
Yeah. You shouldn't have that fear of oh, I don't want to go to the manager and say anything. As captain, you should be I can say anything to the manager. If there's something not going right, I can tell him. And I think that's what you need, don't you, as a captain? But in this day now, I don't think there is many out there. As
another player on a team, does it help to be mates with the captain in terms of discipline, in terms of getting tickets and stuff like that?
No, I don't think that. I think it's.
I was Gareth Southgate's chauffeur.
Really?
Yeah.
I think with tickets and stuff, you always give the players what they need. You're fair with that. But I think as captain, you're just fair to the whole team. You feel like you've got that responsibility, don't you?
It's an old adage, and I've done lots of sports leaders awards and all those sort of things. Leaders eat last. So if you're the captain, you've got tickets. And like Gabby's done, you buy extra tickets for yourself. You put everybody else first, and you make sure they're sorted, and then you sort yourself out at the end. It's an unselfish role at times. I think now, with all the media attention around it and what it means and the armband, and actually it's more media, it's more social media, more all that sort of stuff, more adverts. it's a different type of role now, and some people want the captaincy not to be captain,
For image.
just because it means that, and it's more image rights. You know, it's a bigger contract, or
and I
it's
think
more sponsorship.
Some players might get the captaincy who aren't ready for it, because when you get it, you have that responsibility of like you have to be a leader, and I think some players aren't ready for that, so they're probably going home after training thinking like, oh, I'm the captain here. You know, like I think the manager's got to choose the right player who has that in them. So I mean, like you said, there's born leaders, but some people can grow into it, but I think some people can't.
Interesting. All right. Well, talk me through a match day experience as a player. Like nowadays, I see the footage of the players arriving. They always have a wash bag. What I want to know is what's inside said wash bag.
Shampoo.
Confidence.
Shampoo for you. Never.
Confidence.
Confidence. Confidence in a bag. Okay.
No, it's all your toiletries, you know, for your shower afterwards. But
Isn't it provided? I heard Chelsea are really good. I heard they provide like.
some players like their own stuff though.
Okay.
They like their own like shower gel, aftershave.
It's just, you know, if you were going for a night away in a hotel, you would take your own stuff. So you've got to have to think, well, if you're going to the gym, you turn up, you don't have to provide your own towel for football, but you're going to take your own deodorant, aftershave, toothpaste, whatever it is. So when you finish the game, you clean up, done. It's not, that's it.
Yeah, it's not a big
Simple.
thing.
It's not a complicated question.
Do you try to be flashy, or do you see others try to be flashy with the bag they're using? Now you see LV, Gucci.
Yeah, you know when I was
I use
like,
a Primark
when I was
one.
playing,
Are you really asking me that question?
You're looking quite
you know
stylish.
what,
I wouldn't go
a lot
flashy's
of
not the
players,
answer.
a lot of players had the Gucci, Louis Vuittons, you know, like it was a bit normal to get one of them. And then a couple of years before I retired, it started coming in of like players would get their girlfriends or wives or their kids pictures on a wash bag. I think that's stylish now. I think Wayne Rooney had one the other day, so I think that's like maybe a reminder. You know, if they're going away on a tour, they've got the bag or something that's reminding them of the kids. So it's all about what you want. I think that's coming now more than the Louis Vuitton bags.
Interesting. All right, what about away games? I mean, how does it work? Do you always stay in a hotel? Did you like that? If you prefer to stay at home?
Different managers had different ideas. When I first went to Leeds, we would always meet up on a match day, home game, meet up at 11:30. We'd go to the ground, be at the ground. We then go to a hotel, have a bit of pre-match, hang around for an hour or so, lounge around in sofas and whatever, and then all get on the bus and go to the game together. So we arrive together, and I quite like that. So that the team weren't arriving in dribs and drabs. Everybody was together.
Yeah, together.
There was no issues about traffic. At 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. So everybody was on time, and if anybody was 10 minutes late, it wasn't a panic. So I thought that was good. But generally,
it was different for me. It was different. Like under Martin O'Neill, would stay in a hotel, home games and away games. Some players didn't like it, some players did. I liked it. You got away from the kids. You didn't have to like ask your missus to cook you a dinner. You could go to the hotel for like 6 p.m. Everyone would eat dinner together. Then you might have a little game of cards in the coffee area. Then you go to sleep.
Did you share a room or did you have your own room?
No, your own room, yeah. So like you got your own privacy. Then some players might get a haircut in the room. Some players might get a massage off like the masseurs. Then you wake up in the morning, you go for a walk about 9 o'clock, stretch the legs, then pre-match about 11, then go to the game. So I quite enjoyed that, but some managers didn't. I think some managers didn't want to stay in the hotel themselves, but Martin enjoyed that. And like Danny says, I think I had a couple of managers where meet at the ground for 1:30, and some players will come late, because it's going to happen, isn't it? You got fans getting to the stadiums before 1:30.
Yeah.
Then you'd have some managers that you'd meet at 11 o'clock. So I think that's what Aston Villa do now. 11 o'clock, pre-match at 11:30 in the ground. Everyone's there. But the only thing I didn't like about that was a bit
hanging around.
Yeah. You got the game coming. You've got like 4 hours before the game. It's
nervous
a lot of hanging
energy.
around.
I think
it's on your mind, isn't it? Like you just want to get out there. And you're waiting around. That's what I didn't like.
You just talked about captains. Captains would have a say in that because you'd have different demographics of players. When I was at Leeds, a lot of senior players that were quite comfortable to be at home, and if they wanted, with families and whatever, they wanted to be at home, be at home. Yeah. When I first went to Leeds, Nigel Martin was my roommate. I shared a room with Nigel for 4 or 5 seasons. We were very, very comfortable with each other. It wasn't an issue, no matter what. But then when I moved to Middlesbrough, I knew 1 or 2 lads, but I didn't have that personal intimacy, if you like. And when you're sharing a hotel room for 4 or 5 seasons, there's not a lot you don't see. Getting out of bed in the mornings and all that sort of stuff. So you're used to that. But somebody new, and you're phoning home and talking to your wife, and you're a little bit different, and she's going, well, why aren't you talking to me normally? Why aren't you, all that sort of stuff. So when I went to Borough, then I had my own room and then moved on. And so you adapt. And I think, and that's what, being the captain, being the manager, you have to look at the players that you've got and you have to be adaptable. You cannot just have one hard and fast rule all the time because it doesn't always work.
It's different managers as well. Some managers might be open to negotiations on that, but someone like Martin O'Neill will say, get out of my office, what are you talking about? If I say you're in a hotel, you're in there.
It's his way.
Captain. Do you know what I mean? Like a strong manager like him would be like, yeah, you might be captain, but get out. Do you know what I mean? Like, but other managers would be like, okay, I understand. You know, maybe we can like not stay in a hotel, or we can go. Maybe if you're playing a team that's an hour and a half away, you can meet up at like maybe 10 a.m. in the morning and drive. Maybe some players preferred that rather than say like I think from Birmingham, maybe Sheffield. So say Sheffield's an hour and a half away. Players are thinking, do we have to go the day before? Or do we go in the morning? So it's tough, isn't it? But I enjoyed staying in the hotel. I think you're relaxed. You can get a massage off the masseurs. Your dinner's ready for you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
everything's taken care of.
Yeah, it's taken care of. It takes it out of your hands. Some players might live alone. They might not be able to cook.
Yeah.
You know, like at least if they're in the hotel, you know, they're going to get the right pre-mats, the right food. If they're at home, they might not be making the right food or be able to make it.
That's where being a good manager, you know, you work out what's best for your players and what's best for your team, and you think, well, actually, I might just change that once and you have to have discipline, and you have to have sort of some set fast rules, but you have to be flexible, and you have to adapt that. You know, and I think we've seen with the Frank Lampard with the Chelsea fines and all those type of things. You know, you can leave the game afterwards, and you can, you know, if say Gabby, you know, was playing for Portsmouth and he's going back to play Aston Villa, whatever, or play Birmingham. Can I stay up afterwards, Gaffer? Well, yeah, but you've got to ask 48 hours beforehand. If you don't, you're not doing it. And that's just that's respect, discipline, and all those types of things. And so you can't just go, right, no, everybody's going back on the bus, no matter what, because all that does is annoy players.
But Danny, that's happened a few times, and the managers for me, like, it depends what mood they're in. If you've lost 3 in a row, like, no one's staying down. A lot of players like to stay down in London. You know, like you're playing a London side, like a Saturday game at 3 o'clock against Chelsea. Okay, they want to stay down because you're off on a Sunday. If you've lost the last 3, the gaffer's like, everyone back on the coach. Even the players that lived in London, you're back. Wow. But then other managers, you didn't even have to ask. So it's like Danny says, I like the way Lampard's done it, of the discipline. Yeah, you can ask, and then it's the manager's choice. He might say no to you because you're not performing for him, or maybe actually, yes to you because you are.
Steve McLaren was very, very good at that. Obviously, he'd learned an awful lot from Fergie. And he was right. we used to have a 3-week rolling plan, no matter what. So, you know, plan for 3 weeks. After a week, you know, the next week would come in. So you would know what day off you were having, no matter what.
Yeah.
And no matter what the results were, that is still your day off.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than thinking, right, okay, we've got Sunday, Monday off. You lose the game 4-0. You get in the change room and the gaffer goes, you're all in tomorrow and you're all in Monday. Yeah. You've made plans with your wife, with your kids, with your family, whatever, and then you have to make that phone call.
Yeah,
they're up in arms. You're then getting grief at home. You're getting grief at football, and it just causes massive issues. It shouldn't really matter because if it's right to have a day off because of rest, it's right. Whether you win or whether you lose, it's the right thing to do. And I think a lot more of the sports science and all that stuff has come into it. And it's a little bit more pragmatic, I think, in that way.
I think a lot of, like Danny says, a lot of managers did that. Well, we had that. You get the schedule printed out. I think the players were excited when the new schedule was coming out. Yeah. The schedule's coming out tomorrow. Okay, where is it? It's on the board. Okay, there. We can plan something with your family on that day. You might get 2 days off that day. You can plan something. Oh, you're not got a day off for 10 days because of games. So I think that was good. But some managers would say to get out of the office if you ask them for a schedule. No. If you lose on a Saturday, you're in on a Sunday.
When they changed it last minute, it just used to kill you. Absolutely kill you.
It was like a punishment sometimes. If you went to maybe Chelsea and lost 4-5-0 or something, they'd be like, well, get in tomorrow. And the manager will stay down. I think it's a bit of power, isn't it? It's a bit of authority. It's a punishment.
I think that's what people forget and people don't understand. Football is the best job in the world, without a shadow of a doubt. But there aren't many jobs where if you're going to have a Sunday off, and on the Saturday, the gaffer goes, right, you're coming in on Sunday morning, 7 o'clock. You come in at 7 o'clock. I don't think there are not too many jobs on the planet where the manager has that much power. Yeah. It just doesn't happen. Yeah. You know, You can't. It doesn't happen in retail or in the real world.
But don't you see it as like even like the story that happened a few months ago with Napoli?
Oh, where they had to go back to the
owner tried to
training
take
camp,
him, didn't they? To like a training camp around, the players weren't happy with it. And I think at the clubs that I've been at with the players, it'd be the same, wouldn't it, Danny?
Yeah.
If you're losing a few games and the owner's trying to send you to a training camp for a week, players have got families, they've got commitments.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like I think things like that. That's why it didn't work out, because this day and age you can't do that to players. The players aren't as probably like they used to be.
Managing players, entourages, egos, is the hardest thing in this day and age, because when I was coming through and started off early on, you had to play to double your money, to get appearance money, to get bonuses, and that made a massive difference to your life and your well-being.
Incentive.
Yeah, of course. You've now got players earning 50, 60, 70 grand a week, and their bonuses are very, very, in a percentage-wise, are very, very small compared to that. So they don't need to play. So how do you punish them? What can you possibly do? You say, well, you're not playing this week. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Still going to get paid. And that, not all players, because a lot of players are very, very good at anyhow, but that can cause problems. And if you get 4 or 5 players doing that you upset too much, then suddenly you've got a mini mutiny on your hands. And that's where player power has become so important. Look at what happened to Mourinho at Man United.
Yeah.
You upset a few players, you upset a few of the senior players, and it spreads it, and they go, not having it. Happened when he was at Chelsea, and the likes of Hazard and Costa and all those.
I think it's like even when I was playing, still the same then. If you, as a manager, upset, say, 3 of your best and senior players, I think you've lost a changing room, because they're going to be influential with the other players.
And like you, for example.
Yeah, they're going to look up to players. So I think sometimes managers will maybe not try and fall out with certain players, because they know if their owner gets hold of it, of what's going on.
Kevin Keegan was terrible at that.
It's really? The manager who gets the sack, isn't it? Because players are contracted maybe for longer. So it's always the players are going to win in that.
Kevin Keegan had no discipline whatsoever. Players would turn up late. He didn't like fining players, whatever. I think Robbie Fowler missed the game completely.
Missed the game?
Missed the game, didn't turn up. Had a funeral, forgot to tell anyone. So, okay, it's a funeral and it's important, but how can you forget to tell someone you're not going to be there on a Saturday? So I think Kevin pulled him into the office and said to him, I'm going to fine you. And Robbie said, well, you're not. It's not happening, because I went to a funeral. Oh, okay, head was all over the place. I should have rang him. Didn't. You're not fining me. Not happening. Big row. And it ended up, so I think Kevin said, look, the rest of the team that need to know that you've been fined, so I need to have some sort of control. I won't take any money off you, but let's just pretend that you've been fined.
Pretend?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So Robbie goes, yeah, fine. Straight out the office into the change room. You'll never guess what's happened, lads. He's only pretending to fine me. And of course, then the manager's lost all respect, because everyone else is going, well, he can never find me because he's let him off.
But I think as well, manager it doesn't have to be so serious. Like Paul Lambert would, if you were late or something happened, a yellow card or a red card, you're getting fined, but he'd laugh about it. So it's not like a massive deal. So if you're late, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you, it's going to hurt you. So you didn't want to be late. But if you did, it's not like a massive deal. It's like, all right, it's going to hurt you out your pocket.
Who collects the fines? How is it done? And where does the fine money go?
That's what I want to know.
You were captain at one point.
That's
You
what I want to know.
Ours used to go to charity.
Okay.
So, for instance, the Chelsea ones, obviously, because that was published. Somebody leaked it, and somebody leaked the list of what the fines were and all the rest of it. Now, that's this. As a manager and as a captain will be part of that. The players are a huge part of that. They will decide. So Frank would have gone to the players, senior players, and said, right, this is what I'm going to fine you for. How much do you think it is? So the players have an input. So it's not draconian. It's not just, right, if you're late, you're doing this. And the players go, oh, that's not fair. The players have a say. So when they do get fined, they know what it's about. And then for us, it was always half of it would go to charity. Some of it would go for the support staff, sort of the masseurs and all those for their Christmas night out. And then a lot of it would go to the people that worked at the football club permanently at the ground, people that worked in the ticket office, the caretakers, all these type of people, and that would be for their Christmas night out. So,
well, I've got a funny story, because it was international break under Paul Lambert, and I went away, and as the dreaded thing happened, my flight was delayed. So we had to be back on the Monday morning, and my flight was delayed, and I was with Jordan Bowery, like a player at the time at Aston Villa, and we was like, oh, you know, like you got to the airport, there were like 5-hour delay, and you're like, oh, I'm late, I'm gonna be late. Do you know what I mean? So when we landed, I think we landed at like 10:30. That's the time training started. So we landed.
So you landed exactly when training was going to start.
So
okay.
we phoned the obviously the training ground, and they said, yeah, okay, just come in. So we got in exactly when the players were coming out of training, walking out. But I knew the manager, like Lambert, he wouldn't be angry. Do you know what I mean? But he's going to hit you hard. And that's what he says. So when I got there, he's going to come in the office, and he was just laughing. He was like, I hope it was a nice break, but it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was a lot of money that he cost. Do you know what I mean? But he says, what I'll do is, you pay this cash, and I'll take this out your wages. So it's half and half.
Is that how it works?
No, but that was just a rare occasion. But I think that he kept the cash himself. I honestly do think he did. And that was a rumour that like he did keep the cash, but sometimes players got fine cash for himself.
How do fines work? Is it usually deducted from wages? Or
Yeah,
is
so
it
you
cash?
see it on your pay slip, you just get pay slips back there and you'd say like, fine. But sometimes I think maybe the club will just keep it.
I think it was the smaller ones. So
Just keep it, wouldn't they?
you know, maybe your phone, you know, maybe 500 quid or whatever it
Yeah.
was, 100 quid or
Bring it in
20 quid
cash.
or 100 quid for not wearing your flip flops
Yep.
would be cash, and normally that would go immediately to the staff. You go away Friday night for a game, that's their bar bill paid for, done and dusted.
fine.
Anything serious would always come out your wages, so you didn't see it. You know, you had no choice. You know,
I
it's in
remember-
your contract.
I remember going into like the start of the new season, and I was club captain. Michael Richards was captain with Sherwood, Ray Wilkins was there, and a few others. And it was basically a bloody a negotiation debate on the fine system for the season, and we were like, no, not having that.
It's one of the most important
We were
things.
sitting
Wow.
there like, no, not having that.
Well,
no.
because-
And they're
because
like, well, no. And we're like, it's a standoff, and it's like, okay, well,
Who blinks first?
Yeah, like, and we're like,
Wow.
no, we're not having that. It was like, I don't know, like if you're late. No, it was like in for 9 o'clock, and we were like, well, everyone's got kids. Kids' school starts at 8:30, 8:45. They're like, get your missus to take them, and you're like, well, that's not really fair, is it? Like, you want to
Yeah.
take your kids to school, it's part of like bringing kids up, isn't it? So I can't just have it for 9:30. And they're like, no. And then you're like negotiating, you're like, and I find they're like, okay, 9:30. You know, like it's like, but
Give and take,
if you
give
wasn't
and
a
take.
strong captain like myself and Micah, we captains would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you can't take your kids to school for like the whole year. Wow. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's what I didn't like. And with Lambert as well, it was crazy rules of like, you can't even use your phone in the changing room. And I think the changing room is a personal space for players to sort of like, you know, you can be on your phone, but then maybe if you go to the gym, not on your phone, you go to the physio room, not on your phone. I understand that.
Well, Pep
But-
famously doesn't go into the changing room unless he really
but
has to. Right?
Lambert would,
Managers
Lambert
do it.
would
I-
come in
I
the back
can't remember
door.
that.
So you had the back door by the shower and the front door. Lambert would sneak in and catch people on the phone. The amount of times I threw my phone like that, like £500, and it's a lot of money.
Wow.
To anyone.
Just for using your phone.
Yeah, I think there was.
Yeah,
there was
I
there
can't
was a
remember any
player-
managers
yeah.
coming into dressing rooms.
But there was a player, Jordan Bowery. He got fined, and he'd only just signed for Villa, and he wasn't on crazy money. You know, he'd signed from League Two, I think it was. I think it was his first week, and he's been done £500 straight away. And like we felt sorry for him because when the players are going in the toilets and the showers to use the phones.
Wow.
No hats, no phones in the training ground whatsoever. He said your phone's got to stay in your car, and we're like, well, what if it's an emergency at home, or something's happened? So it's not going to happen. Like family, you need your phone, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's when you can be too
Too strict.
strict and too like I don't know.
Dictatorial.
Yeah, like it's like going back to school, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think there's
And,
like,
and again, it's getting that balance right.
Yeah,
and-
balance
and
right.
giving players a little bit of input, so everyone's happy. There's no point having a fine system or whatever it is. That every time someone gets fined, it's like, throw, you know, and you're annoyed. You have to understand that if you're late or whatever happens, there's got to be some sort of punishment because it's then preventative.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. So you're not late. You know, you do leave a little bit early, all those sorts of things. But on those occasions when it does happen, you just have to go, okay, it's fair. And as long as it's fair and players have agreed to it, then it's not a problem. It's,
But
when
don't
you,
you think that's
it's
a-
when you get stupid managers.
don't you think that some managers are more lenient? So for instance,
Oh, yeah.
I got 5 bookings under McLeish and I was suspended. You know, you get 5 bookings, you're suspended, and normally everyone will get fined.
Yep.
You know, like because you're missing games. He didn't fine me. I think because I was captain, and he probably didn't want to upset me. You know, because I was like one of the leaders there, and like I was like playing quite well. He didn't want to upset me, so he was like, "I'm not fining you."
Oh, we
and he come
we
out
had
and said
that.
that in the media,
Yeah.
and they were all like, "Why not? Why not?" So I think it's different players, and like some managers are more lenient, where maybe stronger managers are like, "I don't care if it's
Rules are
Lionel
rules.
Messi or, do you know what I mean? It's anyone, you rules
When,
are
when, I,
rules,
when,
you're
I
getting
was,
fined.
when I was coming through, sort of Charlton, whatever, sending off was like 2 weeks' wages because you'd miss 3 games, so that was generally 2 or 3. So they'd just fine it back. But there was always, in brackets, at the manager's discretion.
Yeah.
So if a player was going through on goal and we're 1-0 up, and I take him down, and we win the game
Not getting
1-0,
fined, are you?
he gets sent off. He's going, no, that's fine. If I've gone and just booted Craig Bellamy in the corner at Newcastle and kicked him in row Z for no apparent reason, apart from he didn't like him,
You're getting it, aren't you?
I got 2-week fine.
Or dissent.
Yeah,
You know, like things like dissent,
and
you're getting
I
fined.
accepted
Yeah.
that. So again, there has to be a little bit.
Yeah,
it's just man management, and I think
It's like you says there, Danny. If you've stopped a counter attack like you says, and you've saved the team, and you kept the manager on the
Like
job,
Real
then
Madrid
maybe.
the other night.
Yeah,
Of
so
course.
you wouldn't fine him. I wouldn't fine him. I'd be like, you know what?
You get a bonus for that.
Oh, he got man of the match.
If you didn't do that,
Yeah.
it's like a professional foul, isn't it? But if you've gone out and booted someone or told a ref to, swore at the ref,
Yeah.
then
I've
you
never done
deserve it. Do you know what I mean? It's just different, like managers and different managers being lenient, managers aren't. And I thought, especially with Paul Lambert, it was like going back to school, boarding school maybe.
Yeah, interesting. I think of that story Lee Sharp told about Sir Alex Ferguson and Eric Cantona. How he was just handling him with kid gloves. Let him get away with murder because he's Cantona. But you have to know who you're managing, right?
Well, but then there's also you also have to accept that the best players, and this happens in every single walk of life, the most valuable people to your business, the most valuable commodities, the best players in the football club, will get given a bit of leniency because they're better. If Gabby's scoring 20 goals a season,
Yeah, you do.
and I'm the second centre forward scoring 2,
You're going to get more.
he's going to get a little
leniency,
bit more
yeah.
leniency than I am.
Yeah.
It's in any
It's
business.
like a funny story I told you, didn't I,
yeah.
about Martin O'Neill. Under Martin O'Neill, if we won a game, as he was walking out, me or Rusty Young, who were the cheeky like players, and he loved us, we'd shout, "Off till Monday," and he'd turn around and be like, "Yes, it's a
Is
great
that all?
idea." No, but like
When he first started, we'd win a game. He'd say, "See you Thursday."
yeah,
at times.
sometimes that would happen. Yeah, sometimes
He was
like that would
frightening.
happen, or you say like, "See you Tuesday," just be cheeky,
Yeah.
and test the waters. And he say, "Yes, okay, fitness coach, do it." Fitness coach is there fuming like, "I can't believe you." But he just like when managers are winning, you know what I mean? They get that excitement, and he was just like happy that you'd won. He'd reward you. But if you lost, sometimes you like, no, you're in, and you're running around the pitch. So it's just different managers and different styles.
Man management is the most important thing, I think, in football now. That's what and you've got, especially at the top end, where you've got probably 20-ish, 15, 20 internationals in your side, earning big money, good players, quality players, and you can only pick 11. You've got to manage them, and that's the hardest thing.
I
I
think
in
like that's
football.
how like some managers are harsher than others. So for instance, Paul Lambert, we was like, I think it's not the week where you lose the first FA Cup, the second round, and you don't have Premier League games. So most teams like to go away, don't they?
Yeah.
But we were thinking like it's February. The gaffer was talking about going to Portugal. We were like, it's not very warm. He's like, why do we need to go to a warm weather training camp? And it's not warm. I think it was similar weather to like Birmingham. So me, Ron Vlaar went into as Ron Vlaar was captain, we went in to see Paul Lambert, and we were like, we'd rather train and have like maybe a couple of days off rather than go to Portugal.
Yep.
And Ron Vlaar was like, yeah, I want to stay. Like, my family's over, my kids are over. I want to see my kids. Paul Lambert was ruthless. He says, buy your kid a TV. Like,
Buy your kid a TV.
do you know what I mean? Like ruthlessness like that of like, which I thought was harsh. And Ron Vlaar wasn't you know what I mean? He wasn't very like confrontational. Like, but I was like, whoa. Do you know like his kid lives in Amsterdam or
Yep.
Holland? His ex would bring his son over, his sons, and he wanted to see them in that international break. He might have had it planned. And Paul Lambert was just ruthless. Like, buy him a TV.
Wow.
And you
And then you've instantly turned that player against you.
yeah, you turned.
And
And you
that-
never
that's
forgot that.
just
You know
bad
what I mean?
just bad man management.
And I think in the end we ended up going. And like went on that. I remember it like yesterday. We went away. The lads weren't really happy, And in training, it was like we'd done 11v11. It was like maybe Rangers playing Celtic.
Having said that,
Everyone was booting each other.
had,
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Honestly, it was crazy.
we had one. It was at Borough. We went to Marbella, I think, after getting knocked out of the FA Cup. Again, warm weather trade was warm. That was fine. We were allowed a couple of nights out, but there was a curfew. It was like a midnight, 1 o'clock curfew. Well, no one goes out in Spain until 11:30 anyhow. So me and Colin Cooper, 2 senior players. Coops was 36, 37 at the time. I was, nearly 30, been around a bit. we went out and we looked at each other sort of 10 minutes before curfew and went, we're not going back now. We're having a good time. Went to another bar, went for a couple of drinks. Bumped in actually Alan Davis, the comedian, the Arsenal fan. Bumped into him, had a few more drinks with him. Came back about 3 a.m, got back to the hotel, taxi back in. And then, brave as you like, we both looked at each other and went, what if the gaffer's sitting up? bear in mind, we'd sat there and gone, yeah, we can do what we want.
We're grown men,
But management like to stay.
Management sit in reception. So we sneaked around the back of the hotel, jumped over the fence, and then went in the back door.
Did it work? It worked.
Oh yeah, but it was going from like we'd been incredibly brave, giving it we can deal with it. It's not an issue. We'll do what we want to do. To suddenly like having to sneak around the back of the hotel.
Kids. Like school kids. Yeah. What about strange decisions which a manager can make? Because I was listening, I think it was on Talk Sport in the summer. Stuart Pearce was talking about putting David James as a striker, which he did.
Don't get me started on
you, because I'm asking because Danny was there.
Don't get me started on that.
Strange,
Danny was there when this happened.
I've had Chris Samba go up front before, but you understand that.
Of course,
like a presence, you can win headers.
No, but this was premeditated. So the lead up to it was he came to me first game of the season and said,
so Stuart Pearce came up to you?
Have you ever played in goal? I said, well, I'm messing about in training. You've seen me, being a bit of an idiot, throwing myself about, not an issue. He went, I'm going to put 5 outfield players on the bench. So if the keeper gets injured, will you go in goal? This is like 2 hours before the game. I went, well, yeah, of course I will.
Okay.
So that's fine. So he had previous.
I will back this up by saying that they did that with Phil Jagielka, with Neil Warnock. Because Phil Jagielka was a keeper and he did play.
Yeah, but that was when there was 3 subs.
Yes, exactly. But
you had 5 subs. How many? 4 outfield players on the bench is plenty to change the game. So we got to the end of the season. We were playing Middlesbrough. But it was whoever won the game got the European place, went into the Europa League. Unbeknown to all the players, I'm sat on the bench. John Macken, centre forward, sat next to me. Robbie Fowler missed a penalty, which if he'd have scored that, Shorts have saved it. If he scores that, we go up, we go into the Europa League. He saves it, Borough go into the Europa League. 10 minutes to go. The board goes up. Nicky Weaver's stood on the sideline. And we're going, Jamo injured. I must be coming off. Jamo starts running towards the touchline.
Change his top.
Yeah. So premeditated, he's got a blue sky blue shirt.
Was that Stuart Pearce?
Yeah, with James on the back of it, and he's put him up front for 15 minutes.
According to Stuart Pearce in this interview, he said Jamo didn't know about it.
No, it's like Jamo was like unbelievable specimen of a man, great goalkeeper.
He would have loved that, I reckon. Though I reckon he would have loved the banter of that.
That's why he didn't tell. That's why Stuart Pearce didn't tell him.
Knowing Jamo, he would have loved that.
But imagine. So John Macken, centre forward, scored lots of goals, sat next to me, going, "Hang on a minute."
I think I would have walked off.
Well, he did.
I would have walked off and went home. Would have drove home and said, "I'm not coming back."
That's what killed Pearcey. All players lost respect for him.
That's a complete mug off, isn't it?
And then he did it in an England under-21 game as well. Did the same thing. And you're thinking you can't treat players like that. If you've talked about it and gone, this is a last resort, or a goalkeeper goes up for a corner, but to make a substitution, put another goalkeeper on and put a keeper up front when there's a centre forward sat on the bench.
Do you think he's doing that to upset Macken?
I think he was doing it out of arrogance and trying to be trying to be clever. Trying to be just very, very different, and it didn't work. Lads hammered him. Absolutely hammered him for it.
If you see him now, would you say hi to him because of this
decision?
Oh, I
would.
You would?
But I don't think... I've said he doesn't speak to me, which I don't have an issue with. I think he's a little bit childish, if I'm honest. We work for the same radio station, and he'll barely say hello. If he really, really has to, if he's forced to, he'll say hello. I don't have an issue, no bother. But was he a great coach? No. Was he a very good manager? No. There's lots of things that I could bring up. But he haven't, because they stay within the realms of the dressing room. So many things. But what he thinks of me as a player, whatever. That's life. So everyone's got their own opinion. But was he a great coach? No. Was he a great manager? No. He had a couple of jobs and then didn't get any more.
Yep.
That speaks for itself. End of. That's the way I look at it.
Fair play. Yeah. We've actually discussed this before with Shortser, with Robbie Fowler and yourself. I think you were there at Anfield. If Robbie had scored in that match, he wouldn't have gone back to Liverpool.
Wouldn't he?
He wouldn't have gone back because the European spots would have gone
Yeah.
to City instead. So things work out for
Yeah,
some players in
yeah.
other ways. You just never know, right?
You only missed it deliberately.
Oh, well. Only he would know what's going through his mind to go back and to the club where they call him God. But in terms of fines, what's the biggest fine you've ever seen?
I
Got to be Dyer Bowyer, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, there was
That's
lads.
crap.
There was lads that got.
That must be.
What biggest fine I ever got? I got a month.
A month's
Yeah.
wages.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I did get an 8-game ban.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
That was the issue. I mean, we played Arsenal at Highbury early on in the season. Smithy had been taken off before he got sent off. Alan Smith, Lee Bowyer had been sent off. So when I kicked the ball against, Ashley Cole dived, threw himself to the floor, holding his face, and I just kicked the ball against, side-footed the ball against him. Jeff Winter, absolute idiot of a referee, sent me off for that. But when you're at Highbury, there was a little tunnel, sort of TV tunnel on the right-hand side before you got into sort of the referee's room and then round the corner to the dressing rooms. So all three of us, Mills, Bowyer and Smith, were watching the end of the game.
Yep.
He played 7 minutes injury time, which was unheard of back in the day. We won 2-1, won the game. And as Jeff Winter came back down the tunnel, we've just launched, we've launched into an attack, verbal attack. you name it, it came out. Of course, they then reported us. It went to the FA later, but because it was then delayed, and it wasn't heard until I think the February. And then this happened in like the October or something. What it was. Between that time, I'd had 14. That season, I got 14 yellow cards. I think 2 reds. So I'd had another red card, which is another game ban on top of it, and all the rest of it. So by the time I'd gone to the FA, and I sat down in front of the FA and 4 old guys, like geriatrics, and they're reading out what the referee's report is in the cold light of day, when all the passion, all the emotions taken out of it. So, Mr. Mills, you called the referee a beep, 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 man, beep, 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 this, beep, beep, that, beep, 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 beep. What have you got to say for yourself? You've got no comeback.
Yeah, of
have
course,
you?
yeah.
Because,
Language like that, yeah.
And that's the thing. In the cold light of day, it's bad. So I think I got banned for 8 games. So I think the club went and said, look, you're going to miss 2 months of the season, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're going to have to fine you heavily. But then I went to World Cup with the back of that, so it wasn't all bad.
Yeah, true. Then you got Ronaldinho sent off.
Yeah, well, I had a nice little break,
Yeah.
nice little mid-season break.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, yourself, what's the biggest you've seen or received?
Probably me, seen and received. But mine was off the field.
Oh, was this when you...
That was when I got caught smoking shisha.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Yeah.
well, if they see me smoke a shisha now, I'll get fined every day. But yeah, it was just. I think it was the timing. I think for me, it was the timing of when I got caught smoking shisha, and I think as a footballer, we're role models, aren't we? So I didn't understand at the time that you can't get caught. I think other players have been caught in the past, haven't they? Smoking cigarettes or cigars or shisha. At the time, I didn't think it was a big deal, but someone had videoed me and took a picture from somewhere above.
I remember seeing it, yeah.
And I was just like, this is what it's come to. You can't even smoke a bit of shisha on your own. And I remember the club.
Well, it's not that.
The club media
it's
guy.
not that bad
it's
for you,
not.
is it?
No, but it's
And
not.
that's
But
what- yeah.
The club media phoned me and he's gone, oh, there's a story coming out tomorrow. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, there's a picture of you smoking shisha. I was like, you're joking. But at the time, I didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Like shisha, what I mean? Obviously, I don't do the science, but I didn't think it was a big thing. But they're saying that it's how it looks to kids who are watching you. You're a role model. Basically, they want footballers to be robots, don't they? So at that time, the club were like, we're going to fine you 2 weeks' wages and a warning. And I just took it. To be fair, I didn't argue. Yeah.
To be fair, Joe Barton had a few fines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. Is he the most fine player you played with? Must be.
Going to prison, I think, fined a few quid for that.
Yeah.
as you would do. Yeah, I mean,
Well, he helped out Joey Barton. He told me this on our other recording
there
in
was,
an incident.
Yeah.
it happened a lot. But yeah, there was always when Thatcher did Pedro Mendes.
Ooh.
When he, I laugh about it nervously because I can just see it happening in my imagination where he's just run like 30 yards and forearm smashed him, completely out against the board and got a yellow card for it.
Yeah.
Overturned. I think got a 9-game ban for that. So yeah, I mean they were back in the good old days when you could players used to push the boundaries.
Was he the most loose cannon player that you played with? Ben Thatcher, that is.
No, I mean, he was on the edge all the time, but he knew what he was doing.
Okay.
And that was the difference. Every now and then, there'd be a point where you not lose it, but you go too far. It happened.
I think it's normal, isn't it? A lot of players would do it. Like, we used to be able to get away with a lot more.
Yeah.
Now you can't even go on your feet. You can't even tackle. Like to tackle like Aubameyang.
And we didn't have camera phones.
You can't. That would happen every game.
Yeah. True.
But now
that was the big issue. Obviously, when you think the Woodgate and Bowyer issue, that happened. Obviously, Woody missed that. There was all sorts of fines and courts and everything else got involved in that. And then obviously I was there when Joey stubbed the cigar out in the kid's eye. But this was really before sort of camera phones and video phones. So that would have been filmed in this day and age. Yeah. Someone would have been filming it, and there'd have been no, it was always sort of he said, you did this, you did that. It was always difficult to find out what exactly happened. Now someone's just like that,
filming.
Shisha, gotcha, bang, done. So it's just the way the world's moved on.
Have you ever been mistaken for anybody else? That you could maybe try to get away with something, or pretended to be someone else, or pretended not to be yourself?
Any bald person, generally.
I get called Fredo a lot. So
Fredo?
Yeah, the
like chocolate.
That was a rapper. He's like a rapper in England.
Yeah.
I get called that a lot. But
Fredo the frog.
That's what I thought for a second. I was like, you don't look like a frog to me.
I'll slap him for you. Don't worry.
No, but no, not really. No.
Okay.
I get abused when Danny Murphy says something on Match of the Day or whatever. It'll come up. People are like, it's just they've not listened to it, and it's like, they've just seen a Danny bald guy on the TV, and it must be you said it. Andy Johnson back in the day used to play.
Oh yeah, good point.
Fulham,
Andy Johnson, I can see that.
Used that a few times. Gravison. It's funny at times where sometimes fans will come up and they'll have a full conversation thinking that you're somebody else.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just can't be bothered to put them right.
Yeah, you can't.
You just let them, and they go, I remember when you were playing at Fulham, and you go, I'm not going to embarrass you.
Yeah.
Carry on.
You've taken pictures or signed stuff pretending to be someone else.
I've just gone, yeah, thanks, mate, brilliant, nice one, moved on, and off you go. Just let them believe.
Yeah.
They've not done it out of
on purpose.
Yeah. So sometimes you just go, what? Don't need to be spiteful.
Yeah.
Just let them pretend.
What's the biggest misconception about you? When people meet you, is there anything they say that surprises them? Like, oh, you're taller than I expected. Oh, you're shorter than I expected. Oh,
yeah, I think
people often say I'm better looking than they.
In real life. I
do get a lot of like, you're taller than we thought.
I'll say that.
You're like a midget on TV. I'm a midget on TV or something. And also, I think like when people meet me, they say, I know they get a chance to speak to me and be around me and say, oh, I thought you'd be more arrogant, or like maybe like they think you'll be arrogant, but they meet you and they see that you're down to earth, just a normal guy. So I get that a lot when I meet people.
I think people from me they go, oh, you're not that aggressive, are you? Because obviously the way that you
played.
Yeah, the way that you played, it was like I did everything possible. And people just assume that's you all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not. It was my game face. That's what it was. And yeah, if I played futsal last night at the time, you're thinking, just no, stay calm.
Calm.
Don't lose it. But yeah, because the will to win is always going to be there. But yeah, I think people just assume that I'm going to be an angry man constantly going around growling at people. It's like, whatever.
Because you look angry. Are you aggressive on the pitch? Can you blame people?
But I will often use that because often you'll see people looking over. You might be having dinner or something, and people are looking over, and they're thinking about coming over. And you got your family with you, and sometimes having that sort of aggressive stare and sort of a bit of a scowl. They go, "Now I'll give him a wide berth." And so, you play up to it at times. You play the panto villain at times when it suits.
Okay, understood. Have you ever gone up to someone else in that case and asked for a picture or a chat with someone? Okay, let's just say the original Ronaldo is walking down the street.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I've done. I did that in Brazil.
You did that in Brazil?
I was at the Olympics.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, my son was there as well, and he wanted a picture. So I will always go up.
So you did see the original Ronaldo?
Yeah, he was fat Ronaldo.
Okay,
see with me, the one person out there that I'd love to meet and get a picture would be Messi. Just the way that like I see him as the best ever player, someone that I'd love to get a picture with. And a couple of years ago, I was in Miami in the hotel. I was at the bar, and Ronaldinho was there.
Yeah.
So I got a picture with him. Do you know what I mean? I didn't ask him if you knew me. Do you know what I mean? You'd be like, no. What's your name again? But like when you them sort of like icons, aren't they? Ronaldinho,
And
Ronaldo,
I-
Messi. Like you're gonna want to, any player is. Doesn't matter if you're someone like, I don't know, Harry Kane now in the Premier League.
Yeah.
If he saw original Ronaldo, he'd ask for a picture. If he saw Ronaldinho or Messi, because they're
I would do it more for my kids, I think,
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Excuses, Danny.
Well, no, it's not. So that night, I mean, it was in Brazil. It was at a party in Brazil. Michael Johnson, the runner, was in
Yep.
there. You know, so my son was like, "Oh my God!" He was in awe, complete in awe.
The 96 champ.
So somebody knew him. He said, "Oh, does he want a picture?" Oh, go on then. So they went in a picture, and then Ronaldo was somewhere else, and it was. And it is, and it's like I would never go and introduce myself as, oh, by the way, I put or whatever. You just go, would you mind having a picture of my lad? If they recognise you, then so be it. But I would always assume that no one knows who I am.
Well, you see how funny it is though, because people like that are good, but when I was in Miami a few years ago, my friend, like I wouldn't really do it, you know, like go and ask like it might be like there was Kevin Hart,
Kevin Hart,
Shaq O'Neal, and Ice Cube. Oof. So like in different days in Miami, but I wouldn't really want, like, I'm not desperate for a picture with them. Do you know what I mean? Like they're obviously big stars, but I wouldn't be like, oh, can I have a picture with Kevin Hart? I'm not really bothered that much. But my friend was.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. We was at the pool and he saw Shaq O'Neal, so he was a bit up on a different level, and he sort of shouted, "Shaq, can I get a picture?" Honestly, Shaq looked like he'd said something about him. He was like,
"Yeah, okay. He's got that."
No, it was just like.
But
I
think you appreciate, for us having been in a little bit of the public eye, and you're nowhere near those sort of mega stars, that you're more reluctant to go and do it. You know, unless they are in a situation where they're probably expecting it. So if they're at a football match, or if they're relaxing by the pool, I wouldn't go and do it because it's like.
It's almost disrespectful.
Well, because I wouldn't want it happening to me.
But you see, like with this occasion, there wasn't, like, Shaq O'Neal was just sort of like walking. But that wasn't the main one. The worst one was Kevin Hart. He seen Kevin Hart. It was outside the club, and like he asked him for a picture. Kevin Hart says, "No, I can't do that. Because they see it as like they're like superstars. If you get a picture, someone else is gonna come over. Someone else is gonna come over. Ice Cube. No, I can't be doing that, bro. I can't do that, man. I can't do that." And I'm laughing in the background of like you know, my mate.
It's awkward, isn't it?
My mate getting pied. My mate's
awkward.
you know, like. My mate was sort of like say something back to them, you know, like, because obviously it's a mug off, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
If you're asking for a picture and they're saying no, you're probably thinking like, that's what I'll never say no. I've never said no to anyone. Even sometimes I've been eating with family and people come over and I'm like, yeah, no problem, because I just think it's not nice.
Yeah.
Especially kids and like, you know, just give them a picture.
That's the one thing that does bug me. If actually the food is on the table and you're eating and somebody comes up.
Steak getting cold.
Well, I will just go, can I just finish eating and I will come and do it. And I will always make sure I go and do it, but it's just give me that little bit of space while I'm eating.
Or when you're in the bathroom. I think that could probably be worse.
I'm not sure that's happened.
Depends how drunk you are.
I don't know who you've been asking them for. I don't know who you've been asking for what in bathrooms, Adam. But you know,
well, it's a public space, isn't it? If someone recognises you in there.
Well, I think sometimes you do get someone goes, "Oh,
hello."
Yeah, you get, but they don't ask for pictures in the bathroom. Generally not.
Generally.
But I think like
maybe the bathrooms you go to. I don't know.
Could be.
But I think like a lot of them American A-listers, they don't like doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And even like I was in Zuma before, probably like 2012, and I seen is it Cameron Diaz?
Yep.
I was literally in Zuma and I was sitting like here, where I am here, and she was literally sitting where you are, because the tables are quite tight together.
Wow.
Okay. So she's facing like another woman there, and I'm here with my missus. But I wouldn't ask for a picture. Do you know what I mean? Even like she's a big star, isn't she, Cameron Diaz? But just me, I wouldn't do it because I know maybe what it feels like.
I was in Australia.
Yeah.
I've just been in Australia. We went to a little Thai restaurant, and the guy that was serving, he'd be brilliant. He'd finished it, and I put it on Instagram. He finished his meal, or we finished our meal, so we paid whatever. And he came up and he said, I'm really sorry, but you are Danny Mills, aren't you? He said, my dad is a massive Leeds fan. He said, I really don't want to ask, but could I have a picture to send to my dad? And I went, well, of course you can. You know, he'd waited, he was patient, he was polite. So all of a sudden, he's taken off all his apron, he's taken off everything, he's got a clean T-shirt, and it's like, and it's taken me. I've had to wait 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But he's made his day.
Yeah.
And he sent that to his dad, and his dad, he's still watching the Champions League when he got to the So you know when you can tell that someone's a true fan.
Yeah.
And he was just, and you're thinking, why would you not do that?
Of course, yeah.
You know, it's like. you've given a little bit back. You've just made somebody happy for doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, and that's the people that are nice, the people that are sensible and are well-mannered, all day long you do it.
So I had a,
people are rude,
I had a
might
friend,
be a different story.
I had a friend that who got like a family in Dubai.
Yep.
And they saw, I think the kid was like maybe 12, 13. And they said that they saw Jamie Vardy. I think it was around the pool, and the 12-year-old asked him for a picture. He said no. Which for me, when I heard that, I was like,
Ooh.
I felt like trying to phone him and say like, what's your problem? Like, I just think like that sort of arrogance isn't needed. You know, like especially with kids. You know, everyone's got kids themselves. You can't. Do you know what I mean? You can't say no to a kid. I don't know how that was possible. You done that, but I think the kid was quite upset, and I think the dad was like fuming off it. You would, wouldn't you?
Of course.
It's not hard to take a picture. It takes like 5 seconds. But
Yeah.
that's what some people are like, aren't they? They've got that arrogance of like, I'm so and so, I can't take a picture, which is bad. And
True.
I think that happens a lot with them A-list celebrities in America.
Yeah. All right. Well, my hour is up with you, gents. So I just want to say thank you for sitting down to me. I think I'll be doing another
Pleasure.
round of you and Michael Brown soon.
I'm here all week.
More stories to come out, but
You are working me hard while I'm here.
not me. There's a guy called Keith who's running things behind the scenes. But Gabby, safe flight back,
Yeah,
man.
thank you very much.
Been a real
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you.
A lot of fun.
Thank you.
Squeaky Bum Time.